What it do, family? What's going on? Y'all tuned on in. We're gonna be right at you in a minute. Let you hear this track. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'd like to thank everybody that came out today. This gonna be a short, sweet, interesting subject. Gonna start off with this music though. Let this go. I appreciate y'all. Hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and share this if you like the message and the information and the content that you're gonna gather today. Balls up. Let's go, y'all. Yes, sir.
It's Truth One ENT. Yeah, that's that God talk. Yeah, look. I'ma let this serenade, they wanna feel it like my past flow. They want me talking to their spirit, not their cash flow. I let that trash go, back up on my pivot. All praises to the Father that I'm here to still spit it, Life I lived it, it's about to be a witness. I'm the best that ever did me, a blessing that I get it, The lesson with it is death is no question. It's life after death, which way is you stepping? Do you go against the law or you live with direction? It ain't the white man's fault that you're repping the section. Is you raising up these kids or you leaving them helpless? Is you all about yourself or you playing it selfless? The wicked ways of the world is inflaming the hood. Without God, it ain't no way we gon' change for the good. They tap our pockets every way, ain't no change in the hood. Don't post your shop up on our block, ain't no change in the hood. 400 years worth of reparations. Justice system hand in hand like the slave pages. CEOs make their salary off slave wages. It's about building up the stock, you make the change later. I know they hated that I'm gifted with this realness. Israel fieldness, covered by his shieldness. See through the fake and only recognize the realness. What make me great is the patience it took to build this. Spiritual greed, it take wisdom to get it. That there is a gimmick, where the hell did they get it? Messianic, pagan slayer, Israelites, you dig it? They got a squad of lieutenants and ain't none of them with it, Leave that for children, real class in session. About to go around the world and let them ask they questions. You gotta read between the lines and body Christ and let his sun shine. And I'm the sniper on the roof if you on front line. Shots fired, false prophet, it took one time. God told us we the soldiers for his front line. Royalty speaking, so I'm talking blessings. So, how to be death is my only question. And we live forever, I just want the extras. Praise God and his son, put that on the record. Misdirections with questions they don't believe either one. They got you guessing in questions you don't believe either, son. Mind toss going to and fro. Master separator, keep you away from who you know. I lost some brothers to these tricks, it took the pain to grow. They thought they lost me to the streets, how I changed my flow. Speak from the heartbeat of these streets, and ain't no changing facts. Put yourself up on your feet, see how these lames act. I learned some secrets in these streets, and ain't no games with that. Learn to think before you speak, it ain't no changing back. Take a life and get yours took, I see no shame in that. Look, throw a little summer homie books and make it rain like that. Look, take our money, feed the post since we got change like that. Make the change and be the hope, it's in my brain like that. I'm gon' go, they the show, we not the same about that. Touch the ground and teach the pole, that's why my name like that. I'm what's real, they was fake, so we can't hang like that. That's why I stay off in my lane, don't want no blame about that. R.I.P. to Nipsey Hussle and the fallen rappers. This a never ending book, I start another chapter. I'ma have to let you go before they call a pastor. You done heard the truth today and not a morning after. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. What's going on with it, family? You know, days for to be one of them. We're gonna ruffle some feathers, man. Been a lot of talk going out in the community, and a lot of things been popping up online, man, about excuse me. Excuse me again. Apologize, y'all. A lot of things been going on and being brought up about Jewishness. You know what I'm talking about? This Jewishness. And I wanted to come on here and set a couple of things straight. Couple of facts we're gonna put in. So yeah, I know me, man. Yeah, I need to go and twist up, get ready, roll up, get ready, cause we finna go on the journey. You know what I'm talking about? We finna go on the journey, and hopefully we can answer some questions. You know what I mean? Again, um, if you like content of this, I would ask that you hit that thumbs up, like, subscribe, share it, put the notification bell on. You know what I mean? All that helps because it allow this information to get to followers like yourself. You know, and different people we want to spread this message to. Um, so got to get down to it, man. You know what I'm talking about? Um, who are the Jews? Like, let's just cut it. Let's just cut to it. All right, who are the Jews, man? And what is it to be a Jew, and what is it to be Jewish? All right, that's what we must have a clear understanding about before we even jump off into this thing, because a lot of people putting hate, hateful words and anti-Semitic type of terminology out there, and from the most part, from what I understand, a lot of people got a misinterpretation. They got a misunderstanding of who are the Jews, who is Jewish, what's going on, the nation of Israel versus the state of Israel. A lot of these things are self-explanatory, but I guess for the sake of the debate, people stand behind or stand on the sideline and really just kind of let everybody duke it out. But we gonna break it down, and we're gonna try to get some understanding today. Um, biblical understanding. Um, First and foremost, the nation of Israel consists of 12 tribes. Okay, 12 brethren. Uh, Abraham, Isaac had Jacob. Jacob's name was changed into Israel when he fought an angel. So that's the first mention of the Israel. So his name became Israel, and then he has 12 sons, and those 12 sons became the nation of Israel. Okay. Um, at this time, they was roaming, they were nomads in the Middle Eastern time until they were brought to what God had considered to be their land. He promised them this land. Uh, I believe it's beyond the Euphrates, but this is the land that was promised to the Israelites. Now, it was already people on this land, inhabiting this land. So let us understand that it was people there, uh, Philistines, I believe, which convert to the modern day Palestinians, Palestine. Um, they were occupying this land. So, of course, when new people move in, it's a little turmoil, it's whoop 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 whoop. But we just want to get to the meat and potatoes of what's really going on. Um, the nation of Israel started by a Middle Eastern darker complected man by the name of Abraham. Abraham had Isaac. Isaac had Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons. Those sons became the children of Israel, hence his children, hence the children of Israel. So, what we got to do right there is separate the land that's being occupied by the Israelis and the nation of Israel. That first and foremost has to be understood before we can move further into the conversation, into the topic, because when you say Israel, first thing pops up in people's head is the people, the land of Israel and the inhabitants of that land. Okay. That is not the nation of Israel as spoke of in the Bible. The nation of Israel was just a nation of people, it was families, it was brothers who had kids, and all of them grouped together and clinked and linked and loved each other and was together. And that became a nation, and they traveled together. They traveled through various parts of the Middle East until they sojourned and found them a home. So it's 12 different brothers. All of them look alike. Few of them got different mamas. You see what I'm saying? Israel was birthed off a few different women from Abraham, I believe four. Um, so you had all these different brothers that consisted Manasseh, Benjamin, Judah, Levi, Naphtali. You get what I'm saying? All these were brothers. All these were sons of Jacob. All right. So of course, all of them did not look alike. That's facts. I mean, it wasn't no 12 twins, right? So when we get to this subject matter and when we get to talking about initially just about Jews, to be a Jew originally only meant to be a member of the tribe of Judah. Period. It was short for Judah. Period. That's what a Jew was considered in biblical day. What they didn't sandwich this and put this into some big word salad over the years is totally different. So to be a Jew originally, biblically, was only a member of the tribe of Judah, the fourth tribe, which happens to be the tribe that the Lord sprang from. Okay? Solomon, David, that tribe. Okay? So that's the nutshell of a Jew. Biblically. That simple. Okay? It's that simple. All right. Now, where the confusion comes in. All right. Benjamin and Judah, they formed a tight bond. Them two brothers, I think Benjamin was the little brother, Judah was the fourth, the lion whelp. And they formed a tight bond to whereas I believe that they pretty much were just like one entity for real. You get what I'm saying? Benjamites and Judah. According to my history, the children of Benjamin, according to my history, again, I don't know nothing, but according to what I believe that the children of Benjamin are are our modern day Jamaican brethren. From as far as brothers in America, I believe Benjamin, if I'm not mistaken, don't if I'm getting the names twisted again, it ain't a chronological biblical set standard. It's just belief systems. But from the migration processes and where brothers end up being, I believe again that Benjamin would be considered the Jamaican brethren. The Levites, Levitical priesthood, Levi, would be considered to be the Haitian brethren. You get what I mean? Uh, uh, um, I don't I remember like it's put down, but I'm just trying to give you a concept of how these brethren end up separating in the modern day time. Okay, but it was 12 sons, 12 tribes. So where do we get this this Jewishness from? Okay, where do we get the Jewish from out of it? All right. Um, this where it get tricky. During our sojourning in the land, in the ancient land at the time, um, those brethren that was held to the highest biblical degree and highest biblical standard or whatnot, um, they were involved in a lot of uh, things that had to do with the church, um, and of course in any tribe, community, lifestyle, whatever nation, you're gonna have some division. You got some brothers in the um, that was Israelites. In the Bible even say all Israel ain't Israel. So you had non-believers. You had troublemakers. Um, you had people who wanted to be self-worshipped. You had a lot of things going on, and we had neighbors. and you know, a Gentile neighbors. And Gentile in the biblical was anyone who just wasn't of uh, uh, um, the nation of Israel from the bloodline of Japhet. Okay, he they say the Isles of the Gentiles when you read the definition of Japhet. So he was the father of the Gentiles. Um, Going back to that, um, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Um, Jewish people will have a problem connecting to Jacob. Um, they will have a problem connecting to that Israel because um, Jacob was what you would consider a dark skinned man. He was Middle Eastern dark skinned, just like how black Egyptians and Libyans and all those people of that time now and back then, they were black skinned people. They were dark. Okay. Um, so the modern Jewish nation that the world now knows to be Jewish or to be the Jews have a problem interjecting themselves in ancient biblical history. Now they steal and try to take credit, um, but they can't physically put themselves there. Um, that's where the Jewishness come in at. Okay, uh, so to be Jewish, um, in a suffix meaning ish, it's the same as for something to be black, but it's blackish. Be a fool, but you foolish. You acting like a fool. Uh, it's not quite green. It's greenish. It's not quite. You get what I mean? So Jew and to be Jewish, the Jewish is like you're of or relating to it. You're not quite it. You're relating to it. You're probably a part of it. Uh, um, but you're not the Jew. That's why they even call themselves Jewish. A lot of them do try to say, "Oh, well, we Jews, us Jews." Yeah, okay. Well, again, let's go back. To be a Jew was to be a member of the tribe of Judah. Period. Biblically, if you was from the tribe of Benjamin, you would be Benjamites, Naphtaliites. You get what I'm saying? Like Levites. Like it was Levitical priesthood, the Levites. You get what I mean? So let's keep that, you know, let's keep that same energy going. So in essence, what the modern day Jews are wanting or trying to put out as if they are from the tribe of Judah, the fourth son. Clearly, that's a misnomer. First off, it was an interview that Egyptian president back in 48, 58 or something like that, Marcel, I can't think his name, but um, he was having an interview and, it came around the time of them because he was the president of Egypt. He was like, well, what's the problem with, the other nations and, you guys accepting and being, you know, down with the other nations. He was like, well, my only problem was, only problem is how did the Jews leave black and come back white? Like that's why we have a problem with the people who occupying the land now. We know Egypt history. We know we don't change. We didn't we didn't go through such a thing to where now you white. Okay, so that's just one thing. That's just one question. You know what I mean? And again, let's stick to it. Like to be Jewish is just what's to be a member of the tribe of Judah. All right. So what these folks has done, what these people did, is like I say, we had neighbors, and you're able to be grafted into the Hebrew, the biblical way of things. You were able to be grafted in as a Gentile. You had believing Gentiles. Okay, so once we graft you in and you go through what they would call ritualistic purposes, what you would call through rituals or whatnot, and dedications and things like that, you will be considered a grafted in brother, right? And we had some kings and shit that really wasn't too fond of running the kingdom the right way. So it was a few kings that that was compromised in this whole process. Get what I mean? And through a lot of that compromise, it allowed for um, different religious sects and beliefs to infiltrate inside of the nation of Israel kingdom itself. And you had offshoot groups and things like that to start to arise up out of the nation. And again, you had Gentile converts, people who chose, the religion, well, not even religion, but chose the way to follow as what the Israelites were instructed to do and things like that. And by the way of that, you had people who were not of the family, that were not of the fold physically, but they were accepted. They were grafted into the fold. So they could have a right to say, we're Israelites in a sense. We follow the teachings and the customs and of the Israelites, of the God of the Israelites. Um, and again, like I say, you had offshoots who didn't so much believe, but the power of them being together and known by that would benefit them more, if more than not. Okay, so the land of Israel found a home. Um, Moses came like a um, y'all gonna live here, y'all gonna be here. But check this out: 400 years, y'all gonna have to go through slavery. Gonna have to go. There's another nation that you don't know that's gonna come from uh, the west that flies like an eagle, whose tongue you don't understand. They shall come and shall take you into captivity. And there, you will be sold as bondmen, bondwomen, maid servants, and things like that. Um, he said, I'm going to bring you back to Egypt again. Egypt meaning the word bondage in that time. I'm going to bring you back to bondage again by the way of I spoke. So y'all escaped the first butt whooping, but he said, because y'all disobeyed me, if y'all disobey me, I'm going to give you these laws. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 29. So these were the curses that were going to come up on the children of Israel if they disobeyed God's law. These set amount of curses, these exact curses that was described and outlined in Deuteronomy, is going to be the punishment of you guys not keeping the way of the Lord, not following my way that I taught you since I brought you out with a mighty hand out of Egypt. You get what I mean? And brought you here. You get what I mean? Like, if you don't obey me, I'm going to send you back to Egypt again by ships, by the way that I spoke. Now remember that. He said, I'm going to bring you back to Egypt again by ships. Well, they walked out of Egypt the first time, across the sea. You see what I'm saying? So he said, I'm going to bring you back to Egypt again by ships. So that's what water carriage, ships, boats, and there you're going to be sold slaves, bondmen and bondwomen. All right. Those was the Israelites, right? Curses of the Israelites. What I have a problem with is the Jewish nation. I will want you guys to name one time where it was any type of mass exodus of you guys at one time and then being took back to bondage again, being sold uh, to your enemies, a tongue you don't understand, a fierce nation, a nation that don't regard the women, the children, or nothing. Um, a nation that comes as quick as the eagle flies. Um, I want you guys to understand. I want the Jewish nation to try to place themselves in history outside of the Holocaust with that statement, because that's biblically what is going to happen to the children of Israel. These are identifying markers to know who the children of Israel is, right? So when you get to talking about the state of Israel and the nation state of Israel and what it has been created to be, we have to have a clear understanding that the nation of Israel and the state of Israel are two separate things. Okay? And we're gonna get some clear understanding on this because, like I say, this subject, it's gonna span for a minute. You know, I'm gonna try to hit some keynote points, um, and share my screen with you, and get on topic of these a couple of these subjects just to kind of clarify what was really transpiring. Okay, if these people, Jewish people, would say that they're converted uh, to the ways of God and normals and ways of God, then we would understand just like Hebrews, like us, uh, we understand that it's no religion; it's a way of life. Like you can't call us a religion. Only thing that we go by is that we Israelites. You know what I mean? And of course, the Bible come along with the Israelites. So for you guys to have religions based upon um, your conversion into the ways of the Israelites, that itself is wrong and causing a confusion. Um, Judaism, okay? Uh, we didn't ancient tribe of Judah didn't separate uh, a Judaism type of religion from the rest of the 12 tribes. I mean, from the rest of the tribes. We were all brethren going through the same motions. You get what I mean? Like it wasn't a separate Judaism. What is that? There you go with the ism again. You see what I'm saying? This is a creation of something. It's a man-made created ideology. Okay. Um, you either Jew from Judah or you're not. You don't pick up some type of manuscript written by man that's up under Judaism, and then because you practice these teachings of what man say under Judaism, now you're Jewish. Now you're a Jew. That's man-made religion. That's man-made creation. And we're gonna get to the bottom of this. You know what I mean? Because I don't, shout out to Kyrie Irving, like he said, like they kept asking him about when he came out with that, when he would say what he said about that, Hebrews and Negroes and Hebrews, when he posted his thing. And they was like, well, you saying anti-Semitic. He was like, how can I be anti-Semite and I know where I'm from? He was just being nice with you and just trying to tell you I can't be an anti-Semite and hate myself. I'm the Jew, the original. I'm of what they lied and borrowed. I'm the Semite. I'm from the bloodline of Shem. Okay? That's where Shemite, that's where Shem and Semite, that's where, you know what I mean? That's where the word come from. But I'm from the bloodline of Shem. Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Okay? So those and again that's before Abram now. You got Ham, Shem, and Japheth. You see what I'm saying? So one has to be really careful when they get to propagating this false man-made religion doctrine, secting it off in different Dacic Jew and Orthodox Jew and this Jew and that Jew and that Jew. First off, that's a clash of what like that right there should let you know that that is a religion. Cause to be Jew is to only be from the tribe of Judah, man. It ain't no Orthodox, ain't no light skinned, ain't we that never would that's man made. So all this propaganda, this rigmarole about who are the true Jews and the Israelites and all. Listen, bro. Again, the Bible say all Israel ain't Israel. So everybody that's out here speaking and talking that Israelite talk, and you see on these street corners and things like that. Yeah, it's good for the whole census of it, but even within them, bro, it's a lot of them that's fake, non-messianic, man pleasers. You see what I'm saying? Like it's this just real life. This just real family. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say you judge a man by his fruit. You judge him by what his works that he doing, what he didn't put out, what he didn't saying, how he walking in the faith of God. How he is he promoting things that relate back to biblical standards. You get what I mean? Like that's what you did. All these tribes and different cults and sects and shit like that. Where you think it come from? You see what I'm saying? Like I said, we was doing this back in an ancient day. It was strife within the community. You feel what I'm saying? But I'd be damned if we sit here and get blindsided by this whole mystically created religion that somehow only white men run all of a sudden. When only thing white in the Bible was Gentiles. Come on, let's keep it real. Esau. You see what I'm saying? So you guys want to Jewish people, you guys want to create this religion, create this way of life and this doctrine, point to the land of Israel, say that you belong there when ain't you ain't step foot in it. Only time you was probably there is when you was trying to conquer us and get us up out there. But you didn't get sojourn there. You're not Abraham blood. You're not. Let's cut the crap. The white Jewish religion nowadays is not of Abrahamic blood. You probably threw Abraham blood through the offsprings of Abraham and wherever you came from on that. But I'm talking about the chosen ones that were chosen for that thing. Them Israelites. You don't come from them. You don't come from them. Let me pull up this screen. Let's get a little understanding on this Jewish thing and what they got going on. You see what I'm saying? Let's get some understanding on this Jewishness. And like I said, what's really going on. Because we got to get a clear understanding on, again, who the Jews and who not the Jews. All right. So, break this down. Zionism, the nationalist movement for the self-determination of a Jewish people. Again, here we go. Traditionally in their ancestral homeland of Israel. It emerged in the late 19th century, 1800, in response to rising anti-Semitism and persecution in Europe. Though it led to the creation of the modern state of Israel in 1948, the movement has diverse forms and remains a topic of considerable debate. I wonder why. For centuries, Jews in the diaspora maintained a spiritual connection to their biblical homeland, often expressed with the phrase, next year in Jerusalem. This spiritual longing was transformed into a political and secular movement by several key factors in the 19th Europe. The rise of European nationalism, same forces of ethnic nationalism that led to the formation of the nation states across Europe also influenced Jewish intellectuals. Persistent anti-Semitism, despite legal emancipation in many parts of Europe, Jews faced continued prejudice, discrimination, and violent pogroms, particularly in Russia. The Dreyfus Affair. The wrongful conviction of a of a Jewish army officer for treason in France in the 1890s convicted Jewish Austrian journalist Theodor Herzl that the Jews would never be safe in Europe. He argued this in his he argued in his 1986 manifesto, The Jewish State, that a Jewish state was the only solution. Herzl organized this meeting in Basel, Switzerland, which formally launched the modern Zionist political movement. The movement goals was to create for the Jewish people a home in Palestine secured by public law. 1917, Balfour Declaration. This where it's starting to get juicy up. Now, understanding what this is, man. This was created in the 1800s, and it was a European-led formation. Uh, 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 this was European nations. Get what I'm saying? Let again. Let's cut to the talk. Let's cut to it because again, wasn't nothing European about the Israelites. Nothing. Nothing. You know, uh, Solomon had locks in his hair. I mean, yeah, not, yeah, Solomon. He said, "Look not up on me because I am black." Samson had locks in his hair. Lock grabbed me up by the lock of my head. You see white people nowadays, Caucasian or non-black people nowadays, try to replicate having dreadlocks, but dreadlocks was something that came off of naturally melanated people, bro. Look at your boys down in Florida with the wigs. Okay, you get understanding. The first Congressional Congress, 1897. We read that. Balfour Declaration. During World War One, British issued a public statement supporting the establishment in Palestine of a national home for Jewish people. This gave the Zionist movement a major international and political boost. 1922, after the war, the League of Nations granted Britain the mandate to govern Palestine and implement the Balfour Declaration. Jewish immigration increased. Move, boy. Jewish move. Move, dude. Jewish immigration increased. The Zionist settlers established agricultural communities, built up Jewish infrastructure. The Holocaust. The systematic murder of Jews by the Nazi regime gave Zionists a new undeniable urgency. The scale of the genocide generated immense international support for the creation of a Jewish state as a refuge for Jewish people. 1948, establishment. After Britain withdrew from Palestine, UN voted partition the territory into Arab and Jewish states. May 4th, 1948, Jewish leaders declared the creation of the State of Israel, fulfilling the central aim of the Zionist movement. Okay? Zionist movement. All right. Bring this. All right. So what we got to understand is that this Zionist movement, this new Jewish type movement, didn't pick up no steam until the 1800s. Um, According to the Bible, God said He's gonna scatter His children, His chosen, to all four winds of the earth, all four corners of the earth. I'll take that back. All four corners. How is it that this Jewish state only picked up steam in Europe, Russia area? Now it kind of makes more sense when you hear about the darker colored people like Jamaicans and Haitians and Mexicans Colombians and things like that, of being of the 12 tribes of Israel, because first off, they all are somewhat look melanated. Okay, we're talking the ancient ones. We ain't talking about the ones who went and settled. We talking about the ancient ones, and they're scattered. You got some in North America, you got some in, you know what I'm saying, South America, you got some in Russia, you got some in, you know what I'm saying, France, Australia, like, and we talking about dark skinned people, melanated people that are scattered to all four corners of the earth. How is it that this Jewish state only picked up in a point to where Britain could grant this group of people? Huh? How is that? All right. Like we got to get we got to get some real clarity and some understanding about it, because at this same time that the Holocaust was going on, Hitler was killing niggas too. You get what I'm saying? Black people was around, scattered in them same areas. You see what I mean? But only this group of Jewish people decided to become a nation again, and they say that they gonna go back and get a portion of the homeland. Well, what about the other 11 brothers? Because to be a Jew is to only be a member of a tribe, of the tribe of Judah. So what about the other 11 brothers? If this was supposed to be such of a longing and biblical thing that's directed from God to do, what about the other 11 brothers that were scattered? Because we know in the biblical it was 10 northern tribes and 2 southern tribes. So where are all these? Because from the Jews, the Jewish people that's running it and that's doing now, they come from Turkey, Poland, Russia. You see what I'm saying? They come from all the places where in the biblical it say these are the isles of the Gentiles. That's where they bloodline come from. Back to European descent. Nowhere do it come back to Shem. So while y'all steady screaming anti-Semitic, keep that out your mouth, man. Keep that out your language, man. You ain't Semitic. You're not. You're not from Shem. So therefore, for you to try to take that goes to show you the propaganda. For you to try to take offense to anybody being they anti-religion. They anti-Jewish state. They anti-man created doctrine. That's what they are. And because you don't like it, and you guys have so much sway and control and pizzazz, you get what I'm saying? The world must obey type shit. Not here, man. Y'all ain't even the Jews, man. Y'all Jewish. You of or pertaining to. You're not quite it. And so what we want to do, what we want to try to get it. Let's get into why uh the Jews deemed to be so powerful. You know what I mean? We're gonna break this down, man. Why the Jews so powerful? Why are the Jewish people so powerful? Where they get that oomph from? You feel me? And when they got given the land and everything happened in 1948, you know, we gonna understand why. You know what I mean? We gonna understand where this power come from. If if no one has ever done any research, if you still up under a rock or whatever you want to call it, I hate to say it like that, but if you haven't done any research, look up the family, the Rothschild family, and understand how they are and probably will be, continue to be, the richest family in the world. Okay. Short story, they financed both parts of the war. They created the central banking. They created what we call the Feds, the Federal Reserve Bank. That's theirs. That's their creation. All right, Rothschilds. Okay, so let's get into a little history and see, where all this where this power come from. Because again, the 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 Bible say this curse is gonna come up on my people until I come and get them out with a strong hand. Until I come and gather them from the four corners of where I scattered them. Right? Not no self-determined movement, and y'all done got y'all shit together, and now y'all chose to go back to the land because y'all fearing anti-Semitism and hate from around the world. God's chosen people, the Israelites, are going to continue to go through that until he makes the way, until he makes a plan, till he come and say, I'm going to come and gather you from where I sent you. I'm going to come and gather you. And swift as the eagle fly. From what I feel, would have to be like unidentified flying, unidentified technology, UFO type of thing for it to happen like that. From what the biblical source states, how that's going to happen. Not you getting in no caravan and getting airlifted and airbusted and sent to a created land that you now call Israel. Okay, like just let's keep it 1,000. You see what I'm saying? The physical part of where y'all chose to put the state of Israel is correct according to biblical, but that was not Israel, the same one that we looking at now. Y'all just sat on top of it and then tried to claim it. Come on, man. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil, man. Y'all the synagogue of Satan. Let's be real. Revelation 2:9 and 3:9. You feel me? Like true believers, true followers of the Father, we don't necessarily go to no synagogues, man. That ain't something we do. But the Jewish state has registered synagogues all over. Why would you even want to go into a place and worship and have that title when that title in the Bible comes with negative connotation? It's negatively talked about. Christ went into the synagogues and tore them down. Right? Went into the churches, tore them down. Told them y'all in here teaching bull crap. So why? But let's get to something, man. Let me share this screen again, man. And if you like what you seeing, man, hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and share this, this video again. I'm not I can't be an anti-Semite because I'm a Jew. I'm of the original Jews. Okay, so don't put this up here. Don't get trying to flag me for no hate speech. Nothing like that. I have nothing against these people. I did this. They people. They human. But we not finna sit here. I'm not finna sit here and allow my heritage and from what we can prove through biblical history, who we are as a people, even though we going through persecution here in America and other places that we have been scattered. He say my people is like a speckled bird, a bird with many speckles and many dots. That means his people are made up of different looking nationalities. Why is it that the Jewish face always only one face? Until you get to talking about the black Jews out of Ethiopia and the Limba and all that. But other than that, the whole Jewish makeup is Caucasian looking, Caucasoid. How is that? Huh? When the nation of Israel was birthed off of 4 different black women, Middle Eastern black women. How? Make this make sense, man. This ain't this not gonna be long. You get what I'm saying? This hey, just make it make sense. Let's go. Let's listen to how Israel where it come from. What it say? Rothschild family, a wealthy Ashkenazi Jewish banking noble family from Frankfurt. Okay, so they a Jewish noble family from Frankfurt. Let's listen to see what's going on and see what really happened, bro.
It's 67 words long, it's 100 years old, and it changed the course of history for the Middle East and the Jewish people. The Balfour Declaration, the expression of the British government's support for a Jewish home in Palestine, was sent by British Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour to the second Lord Rothschild. I'm here in Buckinghamshire at Waddesdon Manor to speak with the fourth Lord Rothschild about the Balfour Declaration, what it means for Britain, for the Jewish people, and the Rothschild family.
The Foreign Office,
Here come
November
Mr. Burns,
2nd,
y'all. This Mr. Burns off the
1917.
Simpsons.
Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet.
So it's possibly the most famous letter in modern Jewish history, and it begins with three words: Dear Lord Rothschild. Why was it that this letter was sent by the Foreign Secretary to your great-uncle Walter?
It's an interesting question because he was really interested in ornithology, although he became interested in Zionism. I think the reason was this, that it was primarily a movement from Eastern Europe, but they didn't clarify who was in charge of that movement.
Okay, let's get some understanding. He telling you flat out, it's primarily a movement from Eastern Europe, European. All we got to do is go do a little bit of research and understand where did the European heritage and bloodline stand in accordance with the biblical. Who were they?
And in addition, it was, after all, in Great Britain. So they felt that the Rothschild family should be the one to whom it was addressed. And Walter was Lord Rothschild, and he was a Zionist. And those really are the background reasons.
So Walter received the Balfour Declaration, and I have a copy here, and I wonder if I could possibly ask you to read it for us.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. I'm going to put on my spectacles to make sure I read it accurately. His Majesty's government view with favour the establishment of Palestine as a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavours to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. Yours, Arthur Balfour.
And here it is, the Balfour Declaration. What do you feel when you see it here?
I genuinely feel it's one of the most extraordinary moments.
So 1917, the Balfour Declaration was written. They was plotting on this already. Remember, it started in the 18th century. You know, 1900, 1900. But here we go, right here, man. This is Lord Rothschild. He 81 in this interview. All right. These are the richest motherfuckers in the world, bro. $500 trillion they expected to have within their whole Rothschild thing. This is who behind the curtain. Flat out. So you want to know why Israel got so much power. Look who created him. He 81. Israel was created in 48. That means he was around when Israel was created, bro. He was in the prime, to be honest. 40 something, 48, it's 60. He had 20 something, but he was born in it, man. He sent it through. You see what I'm saying? Lord Jacob Rothschild is what his name is. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, we not finna sit here and keep on playing with this terminology about Jews and who is the Jew and who not. Look, world, don't keep saying anti-Semitic phrases without even knowing the origin of where the words and where we coming from with it. Okay? Now you understand why so much Jewish influence is traveling through the world. Why so much Jewish this and Jewish that is traveling through the world. Because they were a created civilization. They were a created man-made movement. They tricked you with a little wordplay to bring the Bible in it somewhat because of the ignorance of a lot of people and them doing what the devil want to do, trick you out your spot. He gonna lie and deceive to you so fast and so quick. The world believe that these Jewish people are actually the Jews that's mentioned in the Bible. When only to be a Jew in the Bible was just to be a member of the tribe of Judah. And then all of them start getting lumped up in the sum over time because all of them was kicking it. And they, I guess, the world was like, man, it's them Jews, But that's what it meant, man. It wasn't a study of a certain religion or a certain belief practice within the nation of Israel like this is.
In the history of the Jewish people. If you think it took 3,000 years to get to this.
And of course, the Rothschild family then as now filled two roles because it wasn't just a leader of diaspora Jewry. It also played a very significant role in the early years of the establishment of the pioneer communities in Israel as well. I just want to revisit for a moment your cousin Dorothy, who you
Yes.
mentioned, who at an extraordinarily young age, still in her teens, played such a critical role as a go-between and a facilitator for Chaim Weizmann. Can you say a little bit about
Well,
that?
she married my cousin Jimmy when she was 17.
So this is your cousin Dorothy, Dolly.
Yep, Mrs. James de Rothschild.
And from her teenage years onwards, she was a major supporter of Israel, wasn't she?
Major supporter. I mean, she worshipped her husband, who'd been deeply committed, son of Baron Edmore. It was due to him, I think, that she became interested. But once she became interested, she became passionately interested. After his death, she became even more committed. She just wanted to carry out his wishes and what he cared deeply about. And you can read letters from her to Weizmann and from Weizmann to her.
All right, y'all. That's enough of that. I just kind of wanted to get y'all on that page just so y'all can understand where this Israel, this nation of Israel, was funded from, where it was created from, like who funded it. You know what I mean? So the Rothschild banking dynasty. Okay, that's why they got so much power, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why they got so much power. You know? I remember kept saying something about Shem, Ham, and Japheth, right? And Japheth and definition, uh, definition of Ham is. Let's get to it. Let me. All right. Right here is the Zondervan Dictionary, Compact Bible Dictionary. Let's read what it says about Ham. Ham is the youngest son of Noah. So we going back to Noah time. You get what I'm saying to you? So from the flood. So therefore we get a good history on where and how far we going back. Ham is the youngest son of Noah, probably born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. Here you go, y'all. He became the progenitor, the father of the dark races, not the Negroes. Okay? Not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, the Canaanites, and etc. So Ham is the father of the dark races, not the Negroes. Now, that's a very interesting term that's inside of the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, okay? And what we got to look here and ask ourselves is, okay, biblical days. How was Christ and how was Israelites able to go and flee into Egypt during persecution and hide amongst the Egyptians if they were white, like what these Jewish people claiming that these Jewish people are? Like, how could you go in Ethiopia, in Libya, and all these places and flee Israel, flee this land? Flee this land and go hide and fight a flight mode and hide amongst any of these dark races. And it also goes to show you that the Negroes is not considered to be a bloodline connection to most of these Africans, not the Egyptians, not the Ethiopians, not the Libyans, not the ancient Canaanites. The Negro, the land Negro, us, the blood. Why is it in there? You know what I mean? This is a good question that people need to ask themselves to understand why I say we come from Shem. You see what I'm saying? The Negroes come from the bloodline Shem, of a dark race. You see what I mean? Semite, Shemitic. That's where the word anti-Semite come from. So again, if I'm a Negro and I understand that my bloodline come from Shem, how can I be anti-Shemitic? How can I be anti-Semitic against myself? That's why you Jewish people, the Jewish community, tries to use that anti-Semite word so harshly and make it so condemning, because within a word itself is you guys' lie on the identity of the identifying factor of who you are. Now, again, if you want to convert to Judaism and convert to the ways of the Lord and all this and that, and like you guys was able to do back in the biblical, again, can't nobody say you can't be a part of it. We're not saying that. But what we are saying is you not fit to claim to be the creator and progenitor of it while being a part of it. That's not what you're fit to do. That's why you're Jewish. You're of or pertaining to. Your title even tells us what's going on. Quit this. Let's quit this. The Bible said my people in them days are going to be at a lack of. They're going to need. They're going to be in situations where they feeling pressure. You get what I'm saying? They're not going to have no army. They're not going to have no capital nation, hood, state status. Let's keep it real. One of the biggest gay pride, whatever you want to call it, happens in Israel. Some of the biggest child molesters and some of the biggest list happens in Israel. Home of the homosexuals and I'm talking about like let's keep it again and again. I'm keeping it a buck on the land. I'm talking about the nation, the actual state, the physical place now. Again, if you follow God's word and you follow God's law, and you doing according to what's going on, you's a brethren. But to turn around and put these hats on and have these fake dreadlock looking beards, had these beards with these fake two dreadlocks coming down the side of your head as if you got, these got locks in this. That ain't, come on, bro. Y'all ain't them. They ask Paul in the Bible, they say, how is it that you speak what we speak? Aren't you that Egyptian from down the way? He say, no, I'm a Jew of Jews. Of all Jews. The chief of them. Type shit, excuse me, type thing. So how did he get compared, how did he get compared to an Egyptian? And then he said he a Jew, and we reading right here that the progenitor of the black races is Ham. He became the father of the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. So you mean to tell me it was a time in history where Paul himself, being a Jew, could be mistaken for an Egyptian, another dark-skinned nation? This biblical now. Come on, bro. We hit you all upside your head with this truth now. Paul, New Testament. I'm from the city of Tarsus, a Jew. Come on now. Let's keep this 1,000, man. Look, like I told y'all, we coming here, and I'm coming to bring light to this, man. If you like what you heard, hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe. If you don't like it, man, get out the channel. I mean, this just some information, food for thought. All this time about the Jews and all this. You can't be, you got to be a Hebrew Israelite. Hebrew. That came from Eber. Black, dark-skinned people. Son of Shem. Come through Shem bloodline. Come on, bro. Let's keep this 1,000. Do some research. Excuse me. Don't. And then for my white Jewish counterparts, this ain't no hate banning that y'all. You know what I mean? A lot of what y'all got going on is traditionally taught. Taught through your tradition. But like the Bible say, don't you make the word of God in vain by holding up and teaching a man's tradition, your own tradition? Come on, bro. Like, bro, you ain't, you know what I'm talking about? Whether you call yourself Jew, Gentile, whatever you guys call yourself, you're still going to be in the power control of what you gonna have going on, because you were formed by the richest family that ever walked earth modern day, outside of Mansa Musa them. The Rothschilds. That's who created y'all. Y'all come from Hungary, Poland, Turkey, the North, Western Europe is what he said, I believe. Eastern or Western Europe. European bloodline. That's why when you go now and you go to the land of Israel, and all the Jews, except again those who they say came from the outside in, which if they dark-skinned, they of the original Jewishery. They of the original. You guys are the Jewish ones. But for the most part, everybody who claimed to be Jewish is of European bloodline. Christ wasn't white. Solomon wasn't white. Abraham wasn't white. He wasn't of the European descent. So that's the lie, and a white supremacy lie that the world been pushing since they done been trying to whitewash things since the Dark Ages. Come on, man. Yeah, I've been turning things white since before 1611. We know King James, black, African, dark man. Not this faggot homosexual that you guys pump up into the world religion, got the world think he was a homosexual, sodomite and all this. That ain't, no, we talking about the original black Stuart dynasty. Stuart family, Britain, ruled Great Britain, Greece, England. Black king. Like Queen Charlotte. These black, which I try to throw out now, Moorish. No, bro, these were Israelites that ruled. Like the Medici family and all this. Like let's keep this 1,000. You see what I'm saying? See, these ones, this kingdom right here, this Lord Rothschild kingdom, they was at odds against these black families that was ruling. And then when they got in control, they whitewashed everything, took down the paintings, pictures, and covered them up, made them white, painted them white. Tried to change history, but now we starting to see it unfold, it unravel again. You get what I'm saying? Gonna keep this thing 1,000, man. We ain't finna sit here and talk what we think. We gonna go to the source and go where we know. I got a couple of more things on this subject, man, and we gonna let it go after that. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, I had to get to the bottom of some things on that, man. Like, we ain't finna just let this ride like this no more, man. So I'm gonna hit y'all with this one, and I'm gonna leave this video on this one. We already been here about an hour and a little change. You get what I'm saying to you? We already
so much, brothers.
Hold on. Yeah, my fault, y'all. We already been here for a little hour and a little change, but this right here, you know what I'm talking about? This video, it coincides right with what, you know, I was just telling you about the power structure and how and you know what I'm talking about, the influence of the Jewish community. Now you understand why the Jewish control is in so many different hands in the world when it got something to do with the news. They run newspapers, TV stations, Hollywood, you know what I'm saying, the medical field, you know what I mean, entertainment, bro. They you get what I'm saying to you? Because they were formulated from the richest family in the world to go out and set out certain aspirations and things. They were given the power, they were given the control, they were given, just like what the devil told Christ, if you worship me, I will give you all these things, all these different nations. He showed him nations that was to come. He showed them nations of the past. He showed him this again, this is where the UFO technology I'm trying to tell y'all come in at, but that's another story. But you get what I'm saying to you, bro? Like, this nation was known to be what it was going to be. America. Babylon. You see what I'm saying, bro? Like we gotta really get down to it, man, and get to the nitty gritty on this thing. Because again, I don't want nobody to be coming to me trying to tell me I'm anti-Semitic, man. I'm the Jew. We are the Jew. How the hell I'm gonna be anti myself, man? Like, make that make sense. Shout out to Kyrie Irving when he said it, when he put it out there. You know what I'm talking about? And all my other people, like, you heard your Kendricks. You hear your rappers throwing it in there like, hey, you know what I'm talking about? Hebrew. Let's keep it together. Y'all is quick to say y'all Jewish, but y'all won't say y'all Hebrew. Because that'll start to open up, well, what is Hebrew? You got to go. Yeah, now we getting down to the real meaning of the thing now. Again, like I say, the son of Ham right there in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary ought to open your eyes. Or to open your eyes and make you and make you think about something. Matter of fact, look, we're gonna show it one more time before we get out of here. What it say? The youngest son of Noah, born probably 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. So who was the father of the Negroes? Because we know Japhet is the father of the Gentiles. He the father of the Isles. Go look it up. I mean, let's just keep it 1,000, man. Who is the father of the Negroes? He only had 3: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And all they wives. And Noah and his wife. That's the 8. Come on now. Yeah, bro. So we finna go back and we gonna go and we finna look, and like I said, we gonna look and see why they got so much, well, we already know why they got, but we finna look at that Lord Rothschild creating Israel. We already know why they got so much. But let's go to this and let this was 2023. Shout out to my brother for coming in here disturbing the peace on this. This is gonna be 3 minutes long, and then we gonna get on up out of here, y'all. But I'm gonna let y'all take a look at this and tell me what you think. Tell me what you're feeling.
Christopher Wood.
Hello, my name is Christopher Wood. Thank you all so much, brothers and sisters, for attending. I really want to thank the county board for continuing to stand up for everybody. It takes a lot of sacrifice of your reputation and possibly livelihood in your day-to-day to put in energy and effort to stand up for what's right, so God bless you. I'm going to go through and talk a little bit about things that people may not know. I think a lot of people are well aware that COVID is a scam. Well, the whole practice of it. Everyone understands there's disease, but the fear that they've pushed is to such a great extent to try to control and manipulate us. So I'm going to talk about who's actually behind it, because not too many people want to do that. We always talk about Republicans, Democrats, but they're both wings of the same bird, unfortunately. So the COVID agenda, who was in charge of the CDC that was controlling and telling our government to shut down small businesses and what they recommend for the mandates of the vaccines and Pfizer and all this? So at the time when COVID was being enacted, I'm going to read off the staff of who was in charge of this CDC. The director of the CDC was Rochelle Walensky, dual citizenship with Israel. She's a Jew. Deputy director of the CDC, Ann Shawalchik, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. CDC chief of staff, Sherry Berger, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. CDC chief medical officer, Mitchell Wolf, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. CDC director of the Washington office. This is pertinent to the topic. We're talking about COVID, right?
Uh-oh, look at it.
Yeah. This is pertinent to
trying
COVID.
to shut them down already.
I love you, Jennifer.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, please.
They're trying to shut them down
Director
already.
of the CDC of the Washington office, Jeff Resnick, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. COVID czar, Jeff Zaints, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. COVID senior advisor, Andy Slavitt, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. Assistant of Health Secretary for Human Services for our country, the Assistant of Health Secretary, Rachel Levine, transgender, dual citizenship with Israel, Jew.
I'm going to ask that you hold off, Christopher.
Ma'am, I'm almost done.
Mr.
Head of Pfizer.
Wood, the chair has ruled that your comments are out of order. She's
Look
asked
at
you to
this.
stop.
How is it out of order?
Yeah.
The chair
How is it out
has
of order?
How is it out of
You
order?
said Jew. There's nothing wrong with Jew. It's not derogatory. Yeah,
Exactly.
if you say Catholic or Protestant.
Okay,
how is
keep
that
on going. Head of Pfizer vaccines,
Again, the
Albert
chair
Bourla,
has-
dual citizenship with Israel, Jew. Pfizer chief scientist, Michael Dostin,
We
dual
need
citizenship
decorum
with
here.
Israel, Jew. Moderna chief scientist, Tal Zaks,
I'm
dual
pretty
citizenship
sure-
with
hold on.
Israel, Jew.
Christopher,
BlackRock,
please.
everyone know BlackRock? BlackRock CEO, Larry Fink, dual
Please,
citizenship with
Christopher.
Israel.
Larry Fink.
I said we're willing to sacrifice our ego, our
You heard this, boy? Let's break this down. The whole head of the COVID. Everything that has something to do with COVID. All of them dual citizenship, Jewish. See what I'm saying? And they trying to shut them up. I'm pretty sure that the lady trying to shut them up, she's Jewish. Let's keep this thing going, man. If you're liking what you're hearing, like I said, we almost done. Hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And if you want to hear, if you want me to dive more deep into it, like I say, man, we Hebrew Israelites, man. It's Truthful One. You know what I'm talking about? Sarai ben Israel. All right, man. We here to give you the truth, nothing but the truth. So help us the Most High.
Reputation
You have 19
and our lives.
seconds.
Yes, ma'am, and I love you, and I appreciate your patience. BlackRock President Rob Capital, dual citizenship with Israel Jew. The CDC Chief Medical Officer of Johnson & Johnson, Joanne Waldstreicher, dual citizenship with Israel Jew. Chief Medical Officer of Merck, Michael Rosenwald, dual citizenship with Israel Jew. Head advisor of the World Economic Forum, Yuval Harari, dual citizenship with Israel Jew, and that's only talking about COVID. That's not talking about who's in charge of
Christopher, you need to stop.
About who's in control of the media or the banks.
Oh.
I can go on. God bless y'all. Thank you for your patience.
You heard me? Let's get on up out of here, man. Know what I'm talking about, man? Listen to me. Christopher Woods, shout out to you, brethren. That's how you handle them, bro. Look, bro. None of this is meant for hatred toward no religion, no sect, no group of people. When you come and you get clarity and you get understanding, it may ruffle some feathers. We're not here to cause up any hate speech. Again, I'm a Semite. I'm a Shemite. So please don't cast anti-Semitism toward me because I am of the Semitism, man. We are. Get some knowledge on who he is. Get some knowledge on who you are. Get in that Bible. Don't read it from any religious base. Don't read it from a Christian religion base. Don't read it from a Jewish religion base. Do not read the Bible from any man-made type of doctrinal base. Read it with sense, common sense. Read it for what it is, for what it says and who it's talking to. The Bible itself was a book written to and about and for the chosen children of God, which happen to be the children of Israel. The names on the gates, the pearly gates, 12 names on 12 gates, 12 names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So you mean to tell me that the Jewish faith, you're only going to go through the Judah gate? It's 12 more gates. Where your brethren? Where the other 11 tribes? Did y'all bring them to Israel? Did y'all gather them from the four corners where they spread? No, because y'all only identified that from Turkish, Slavic, Roman, Eastern or Western, whatever they were saying, European bloodline. Of one bloodline background. Come on, man. Let's keep this thing 1,000, man. Look, foes up to the casket close up, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Hebrew Israelite, man. It's the Hebrew Hangout Podcast, man. I appreciate y'all. Again, if you like this content, thumbs up, like, and subscribe to it. You know what I'm talking about? If you want to donate to the cause, y'all understand what it is. They'll go to Cash App, email address. You can shoot me an email, shoot me some things you would like for me to go over. If we come to the point and we deem them some good, credible things like that, we'll bring these things on. But I appreciate y'all for showing up. I appreciate this time y'all gave me. We right about almost about 1:30. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, hey, show your comments, man. Let them know this ain't no hate. This ain't no hate talk, man. We do this for real, man. Foes up to the casket close up, man. We out.